How's it going today, my friends? Today we're going to be doing a side-by-side comparison of the Navionics Platinum Plus charting and comparing it to the CMOR West Florida card in terms of their shaded relief. Navionics claims their Platinum Plus card is the best on the market. It definitely beats CMOR in terms of coverage and for navigational aids, but in terms of the shaded relief and the detail it offers, that's to be found out in this video. We're going to be finding that out, who has better shaded relief charting for fishing, CMOR or Navionics. Stay to the end, guys, and we're going to find out together. So on this screen we have the Navionics Platinum Plus chart right here, and then on this screen over here we have the CMOR West Florida card. We're going to be doing some side-by-side comparisons of several different spots on here, and just trying to see who has a better picture, whose it looks better on, and who's going to help you catch more fish, which is what we're doing this video for. Be sure to subscribe, smash the like button on this video, that way it gets out to more people, and we're going to leave the CMOR dealer and Navionics dealer down below in the description. That way, whichever card you feel is best, you can feel free to purchase it and use it when you go fishing, and make sure you're covered with warranty if the chip is defective or anything like that, and get updates for added detail in the future. And with that being said, let's start the video, my friends. So we're going to just do on the CMOR card first. We're going to just check out a little area over here. So as you can see, we're going to go ahead and check out this area. Let's see what we're going to, let's just try right here off the beach, that way we can see it on the other screen as well. So this is what it looks like on the CMOR card. As you can tell, it looks pretty detailed. You can see all these little almost like, it looks like little ledges. It's nothing too significant, because keep in mind this is in 10-15 foot of water, so we definitely see there's some stuff there. As we move over, there's some empty spaces. That's just going to be where they don't have the coverage or the mapping. But that's not an issue because you have all this other space. So let's check out this. It looks like a little debris pile. It doesn't look like anything too significant, because keep in mind this is in shallow water, so it looks like it might be a little pile of something. And then it looks like out here we got a ledge out here, so check that out. That ledge, it looks like it goes for a little while. That's 200 foot right there, so it's probably about 600 feet right there. You can tell it's not too fancy, but you can also tell that it's definitely there, and there might be something on it. So if you're running over in that area, go ahead and check it out. Why not? Let's go ahead and check that out on the Navionics chart right here. So Navionics right here, we're gonna go ahead and check this out right here. I'm gonna try to use the side keypad for you guys, that way you guys can see better. And that area is gonna be right there. And then let's zoom in. So we can see it on here, definitely. It's definitely more blurry and looks a little bit more cluttered, like with all this other stuff on the screen. But we can see it's there. Not quite as detailed, but we can definitely see it's there. As we move over, you see where CMOR doesn't have coverage. There's just blank. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and look at that ledge that I was just speaking about. So we can tell it's here on this one. It doesn't quite look as easy to find, just because it looks almost like it's more camouflaged in that mapping. I think it might be the coloring on it, but we can definitely tell it's not as detailed right here. And the same as for this rock, this debris field. Remember, I was able to spot that out way out here, and when we're on like this, we definitely can't tell that is that. But we can definitely tell it's there as we zoom in and we find it. We find the area, and we can definitely tell it's a little something. Doesn't look quite as significant as it does on CMOR. Keep in mind neither one of those too significant, because keep in mind this is shallow water as well, but it definitely looks better on the CMOR. So let's go ahead and check out where Navionics likes to prize itself. Down here in the shipping channel, if you look on our website, this is the picture that you'll actually see. It looks just like this. That's what they show for their shaded relief. So let's go ahead and see how it actually looks in comparison to the CMOR. So we can definitely tell it looks good on here. You can definitely see there's some ledges and stuff like that in the shipping channel. They blew this up with dynamite, so all the limestone on the bottom for Florida, it got blown up, and lots of ledges and stuff got made out of it. So we can definitely tell it's here. We'll go out a little bit more, definitely see some other little stuff, more ledges out as you go into the shipping channel. Looks like a little hard bottom spot. There's definitely going to be some sand mixed in there with all the water moving, but you can definitely tell it's there. Let's zoom in a little bit. We're at 200 feet, but as we can tell, there's definitely something there. You can definitely tell there's some stuff on the side of the shipping channel here, and then as we look farther into here, it looks like it just gets blurry. and then there's also some bottom here, so you can definitely tell it looks good on here. Now let's go ahead and check it out in comparison to the CMOR right here. So right here is a CMOR chart, and we're going to be looking at that exact same spot right down here, and it definitely looks good from out here. So let's go ahead and zoom in more in detail and see if that holds true. So we're going to go ahead, zoom in. So we can definitely tell the way they process their data for CMOR is definitely better than Navionics, because look at how much clearer this looks on here compared to Navionics. Navionics would look blurry, but this you can really see things well. You can definitely see that this is definitely a ledge right here, especially as you zoom in. Look, I'm at 200 feet. Look at how well, because you see how you saw on that other chart how when I zoomed in 200 foot out there, it just got blurry. And you can definitely tell there's some stuff here that looks like a good ledge or something right there. Let's zoom out where I was talking about like the little hard bottom area. So as we zoom out to the side of the channel, we definitely tell that stuff is there. I'm going to assume most of the stuff is just sand right here, not really anything. This looks like it might be a little ledge or something. This actually shows obstruction, so it looks like a little bit of something right there. And then as we go out, we can just check it out. And look, we were at 200 feet on the other one. It was so blurry we couldn't really see what it is, but look, we can almost see like the exact grooves and everything on this ledge. So it looks really good. I think CMOR definitely beat them on this area. And you can definitely tell this other structure on the shipping channel looks great as well. Let's go ahead and check out some stuff in the bay. A couple things. I don't want to make this video too long. These videos are lengthy, but they're worth it. So we're gonna go ahead and check out this spoil area. Spoil areas, a lot of people think is no good because it's shallow. Spoil areas, a lot of times they hold a lot of grouper, especially if you get on a structure in the side of the shipping channel. But we can see there's lots of rock piles and ledges in here, so it looks great on here. We're gonna go ahead and check out the same spoil area on the Navionics card right now, and we're gonna check out in the shipping channel. We'll just look out here right away on the CMOR and the shipping channel, so we can see. You can definitely see that it drops off. There's lots of structure, some ledges, rock piles on the side of the shipping channel. Look at that right there. And we definitely see that it's there. It looks like something little right there that might be pretty good. We're zooming in at 100 feet, so that's a little rock pile or something. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and check out this spoil area. Here's one more look at it before we switch over to the Navionics, and let's check it out on the Navionics right now. So there's the first spoil area out here. There's gonna be right here. CMOR doesn't, like I said about the coverage, they don't have like quite everything, but this is gonna be the exact same area on the Navionics. You can tell it's not quite as detailed. We're zoomed out a little bit more, so it should look better, but it doesn't. So we're gonna zoom into 500 feet. You never tell this stuff is there. You could definitely be like, hey, that looks like some good bottom, maybe some rock piles, some ledges mixed in there. And you could definitely check it out and with your fish finder find it, find that it's there. But I don't even use my side scan with the CMOR anymore, just because I don't need to. I just go over on the chart and it shows me what's there. But anyways, we can definitely tell that it's not quite as detailed. We can definitely tell it's there, and then as we zoom into the shipping channel, let's see how stuff looks as we zoom in. So you can definitely tell it looks decent. As we zoom in, it just gets a little bit too blurry, and you can't really see how it looks exactly because it just gets too blurry. But you can definitely tell some stuff is there. It clears up a little bit, it looks like, but you can definitely tell it's not as clear as it was on the CMOR. Like we could literally see everything on the bottom. This, as we zoom in at 200 feet, it just gets too blurry. You can definitely tell some stuff is there, like that looks like a little ledge or something, but it just gets blurred out, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and check another little spot in the bay, one more spot, and we're gonna move offshore and do a comparison on that with the CMOR. So let's go ahead and check it out over here. So let's see, let's go farther up in the bay. Let's go, see, we'll go after the Skyway, and then we'll go ahead and check out, let's check out this. So this looks like a little obstruction area. There's also some little obstruction right there, and we can definitely see that there's this stuff on the bottom. Looks like maybe some crater, not craters, maybe some debris. It could be some culverts. I'm not exactly sure what it is or what it could be. It could just be some rock piles, but it's definitely marked as obstruction on there. You can definitely see that it's there. It looks good on here. We're zooming at 200 feet. As we zoom into 100 feet, we could pinpoint each one of these individually, see where all these are, literally like almost down to the inch, I would say. And then as we look off to the edge here, we can see other pieces of structure. We're zooming into 50 feet, so that's where we can see 200 feet right here. We can definitely tell there's something there. So if we zoom in, that's probably like a 15-20 foot rock right there, rock pile. There's also something right there. And as we move into the shipping channel right here, the other two obstruction areas, we can definitely see that it's quite clear. that there's some sort of obstruction right here. Looks like a nice little rock pile off the edge of the shipping channel. And as we look in the shipping channel, we can just see it's just amazing, the detail in these charts. Check out all those rock piles on the edges. That's where grouper like to hide out in the winter time. And we can just see all this detail in the shipping channel. It looks great on the CMOR. So we're gonna go ahead and check out the exact same area on the Navionics. So let's go ahead and check that out. So it was right after the Skyway bridge and in this obstruction area right here. So as I mentioned, you can see it's there on here as well. It's definitely not quite as detailed. We're at 200 feet. There's way more detail on CMOR, but we'll just keep it zoomed out, that way it looks a little bit better for you guys. So you can see all this stuff. It looks like there's something there. Can't really quite tell what it is though. You can definitely tell it's there. You could run over it. And then there's those other two obstruction areas I was telling you about next to it. You would never be able to find that on this chart. Only because we knew it was on a CMOR, we could tell it was on there and know it was something. But as you can see all these little rock piles and ledges over here. And then this obstruction that we mentioned was closer to the channel right around here and here. It's just non-existent. You can't even see it on here. It's just super blurry. And if we go ahead and zoom into the shipping channel around here, we're gonna see that it's just not quite as detailed. It looks good, not quite as good as the CMOR, I do have to say. And as we zoom in, it doesn't really get any better. So we're gonna just keep it like this, and as you guys can see, another one, Navionics folded to CMOR. Now let's go ahead and check something out offshore. So here we are offshore now, about I would say 10 to 15 miles offshore, off the shipping channel, and we can see this little hard bottom area. It looks like a bunch of little rock piles and ledges mixed in here. As we zoom in, we can see there's quite a bit of detail. Looks great. Looks like a nice ledge right there. Some rock piles, good area right here. Looks like. And there's some other ledges off to the side for sure that we can see all over here. Look at these ledges. As we zoom around, we can see this. Looks great. We're zooming in at 200 feet too, by the way, so the detail is great. You can see like this is like a shelf right here, ledge. Looks like a little flat area, ledge, and then that looks like some little piece of structure or something right there, almost like the ribs of a boat or something like that. But we definitely tell there's quite a bit of detail in this chart out here on this particular offshore spot. And then I'm gonna go back over to the main point, which is right here. All these little areas that you can see right here definitely looks great. Bunch of ledges and rock piles right there, and we're going to look at the exact same thing on the Navionics right now. So Navionics is right here. As you can see, it doesn't look quite as good. You can definitely tell there's quite a bit of stuff there. You can see those rock piles and ledges right there. There's also some structure out here, but let's zoom in and see how the detail gets. So we're zooming in at 500 feet. We're able to tell the stuff is there. Not quite as detailed as I mentioned earlier. This is 200 feet. It's just pretty blurry. You can definitely tell this stuff is there. If you go over it with your side scan, you'll see it. You won't be able to see it in quite as much detail as you do with the CMOR because it's a whole 3D chart of the ocean floor. But you can definitely tell this stuff is there. There's lots of ledges and stuff in here. You can see those ledges are there. This is that other spot that looks like almost like the ribs of a boat. So we zoom in to 200 feet. It just gets super blurry. You can definitely tell something is there. Looks like a good ledge on here. And then looks like that other area that I was showing right before that. You can definitely tell that's a ledge there. It's just not quite as detailed and defined as well as the CMOR is. But you can definitely tell this stuff is there. There's lots of ledges around there. So Navionics did a good job on this one because you can see this stuff well, but not quite as good as CMOR. It's just way more defined and sharp looking on the CMOR. So now we're going to go ahead and look at an offshore wreck. And we're going to go ahead and look at two wrecks, and we're going to move off to the middle grounds and then out into the Gulf Stream. So let's go ahead and check out a wreck on here. This is a wreck offshore here, about 20 miles offshore, and we can definitely see that it's there. It looks like some ship or something. As we zoom in, we get a better idea of what it actually is. We'll compare it. It looks like it's about 220, 250 feet, we're going to call it. Looks like a nice little wreck right there. You can definitely see it very well. You can definitely see there's other ledges around that wreck, so that's great. So if the wreck is full of sharks, barracudas, whatever, Goliath groupers, you can always come out here and fish one of these ledges that you know are here on the CMOR chart, and you can decide what direction you want to go. You want to go more inland towards it, you can go more out off of it, and you can definitely see that all these ledges here exist and are in great detail. We're zoomed in at 200 feet, and as you know, at 0.2 miles, it looks great. We can also see like all these lines. It's not hard to find stuff on here, guys. Just look, I'm just clicking literally almost anywhere and we find stuff. ledges. I mean, there's literally thousands of numbers, probably if not millions numbers to fish out here. And let's see, it looks great on the CMOR chart. So let's go ahead and compare it to the Navionics card right next to me. So here it is on Navionics. We definitely tell that Shipwreck is there. It looks good too on here. Obviously as we zoom in, it got blurrier unlike the CMOR, but we can definitely tell there's other ledges around here, not quite as easy to spot out as the CMOR, but we can definitely tell there's these other ledges out here offshore around this wreck. And as we zoom in, let's see what kind of detail we get on these ledges. So we're zoomed in at 200 feet. We'll zoom out a little bit more. We can definitely tell those ledges are there. They're not as defined as they were on the CMOR card, so that's also something to keep in mind. So let's go ahead and look at some more ledges around the wreck and just see if we can find some good detail on these ledges. So as we zoom in at 200 feet, we can tell it's there. It's not quite as detailed. We can't just necessarily be like, oh, I'm gonna anchor right here within like 50 feet of the spot or whatever. But we definitely tell it's there. You have to drive over it with the Navionics card for sure, and you can definitely tell this stuff is there, just not quite as detailed as a CMOR. I'm gonna go ahead and check out one more spot out here. I'll show it to you on the CMOR first and then on the Navionics, that way it's easier to find. So the CMOR spot out here, I'm gonna go out here to this little area, and I'm gonna show you guys a pipeline on here too real quick after this. So this looks like a little area. I'm not quite sure what this is. This might be a reef or something out here, but we definitely tell there's some stuff there. It looks like some good structure. We definitely see that it's there, and as we're zoomed out at 200 feet, we definitely see all the little pieces of the wreck right there, and there. And there's a nice little ledge right here that drops down. A nice little hard bottom area around here. Great spot to fish right out here. And this is about 30 miles offshore, so it's about 90 foot of water. And we definitely tell there's a bunch of other ledges around there. As we look around, we definitely see more stuff. Keep in mind this water is deeper, so it's not going to be quite as clear. So when we're at 100 feet, it starts to get a little bit blurry on here. We definitely tell this stuff is here though. It looks really sharp. We could probably just practically go over this. I mean, we're within 50 feet and we can tell it's right there. So you'll be able to find the wrecks and stuff like that on here really well. Another ledge right there looks great. And you can definitely see all this structure right here too that you can fish as well. And you'll have an exact spot of it rather than having to like get a wreck coordinate and figure out what it is or where it is. You'll be able to see it on here really well. So that's that on the CMOR chart. And now we're going to look at it on the Navionics chart. Here we have it, that exact same wreck on the Navionics card. It's a public reef, so there you can see it right there. But you can definitely tell that the stuff is there. It's pretty good, the detail. We're zooming at 200 feet. Remember on CMOR started to get blurry around 100 feet. So if we zoom out a little bit more, maybe we'll get a little bit better picture. Looks better. And we can definitely tell the structure is there, just like on the CMOR, structure all over here. Definitely tell there's some ledges around here. You can definitely tell it looks like a good spot. Let's go ahead and zoom in on some of these ledges. So obviously, as I mentioned, once you get to 100 feet on either one of these charts, this deep, 96 foot of water is what it looks like, 90 foot in some areas. As you can tell, it's not super detailed once you zoom in. You definitely can't tell, like as I showed you with the CMOR, like I clicked on this exact spot right here. You'd never be able to tell that that's a ledge right there, unless I showed you the CMOR and then showed you this. But if you zoom out, you can definitely tell that ledge is there. You'll be able to find it with your side. Well, side scan actually this deep normally doesn't work for most people, and you'll be able to tell that it's there. You have to find it with your down scan, and you'll see it. There's lots of ledges out here, so it looks great out here actually. You can have to see all the ledges out here, but when you zoom in, they're not going to be quite as easy to get right over because it's not quite as detailed and sharp looking. We're going to check out the pipeline. Like I said, I would show you guys. Navionics card, it's easier to find the pipeline because they got a line for it going out right here. And you can definitely see in some areas that it picks up, it looks good. And also they have these little areas on here like this that tells you like some information. So pipeline right there. But as you can see, it goes out. There's some other ledges on the side of the pipeline that you can see. It looks good. But anyways, that's the pipeline for you on there. So let's go ahead and look at it on the CMOR. So here's the pipeline on the CMOR card. You can definitely see it as it goes out. You can definitely see all the structure around it like I showed you on the other one. As we zoom in, it's pretty clear and you can see that the stuff is there. It's just 200 feet. And you can definitely tell all the structures around it. There's the pipeline right there. And it doesn't have the whole entire pipeline, but you can see it goes on for quite a while. And with that being said, let's go ahead and move out to the middle grounds. I'm sure a lot of you guys looking to buy this particular card are going to be fishing the middle grounds with it because it's a great area to fish. Some people say it's the best fishing in the world. I don't know. That's subject to your opinion. But we're gonna go ahead and check out some stuff. Let's click on this. That looks good, and we can see as we zoom in, we can see lots of detail. We're at 0.1 miles. And the middle grounds, guys, when you guys get there, look on your bottom machine, you guys will be going nuts because of all the structure there is out there. But if you look on here, you can definitely see that's a nice little ledge right there. We're zoomed in at about 500 feet. So this looks like a pretty big drop right here. So we're zooming at 200 feet, and obviously, as we can tell, once you guys get out there, you guys are gonna see there's all kinds of structure and stuff like that out here. So it looks good on here. This is that little area. We're gonna go ahead and look at another area right next to it. And it looks good on here as well. You can definitely see this stuff out on here. Let's see, like on this right here, you can definitely see like how the ledge, like it forms, like it drops down. Like there's a little ledge area right here, and there's a nice big ledge right out there. Look at this one right here, ledge, flat, ledge again, and it gets deep. So that's one little spot in the middle grounds. We're gonna do one more on there after I show it to you guys on the Navionics first. So let's go ahead and check it out. So guys, here's that exact same spot on Navionics. We're zoomed at a half a mile right here. So as we zoom into this little ledge like I was mentioning earlier, we're at 500 feet and we pretty much lose all the details. Same thing at 1.1 miles. It's not quite as detailed and sharp. I'm gonna have to just give this to you guys right off the bat. CMOR beat them on this in the middle grounds. But if you look, you can definitely see the big ledge out here. Remember with the CMOR, I was like, hey guys, look, looks like a ledge. It might drop off right here, and it looks like right here, it's just a ledge and it gets flat and it drops off again. As you guys can see on here, that stuff is out here, and it's not quite as detailed. It looks good though. This is where I was talking about where it drops off. I mean, you can definitely see it. You're at 500 feet zoomed out, so that's quite a distance to go ahead and try to find over, but as you zoom in, it just disappears really. But yeah, and if we look around here like I showed on the CMOR card, you can definitely see that there's some good structure there, but you just can't quite see all the detail on ledges on top of those ledges or rock piles and stuff like that. You just see the big stuff out here for the middle ground. So I mean, I guess that's good, but it's not quite as good when you just want to fine-tune things and just make things as easy as possible when you get out there. You're spending all this money to get out there, so you just want to make sure things just run smoothly as possible, because things can be difficult, especially a long ride out there. It could be rough, whatever. You just want things to go as easily as possible. So we're going to zoom down to this other area farther south of the middle grounds. I don't know exactly what the name is for this, but it's a good area. I know a lot of guys do good on it. It's in about 144 foot of water is what it shows on here, and you can definitely tell all this is a nice ledge line around here. So we're going to start out at the top. We're going to zoom in at 0.2 miles, and we're just going to go ahead and take a look at it. So at 500 feet, it gets super blurry, pretty much unseeable, and as we zoom in, it just gets unimaginably worse. But we're gonna just keep zoomed out, and we can definitely tell that these ledges are out here. You'll be able to find them. Looks like some nice rock piles and ledges as we go down on this, and we can see it as it goes out, and it's a great little area. It looks like you definitely see the stuff is there. As you zoom out, it's a little bit easier to find. It's great for if you're trying to look for a general spot, but as far as detail, more imprecise, and in particular as we look at the south end over here, it's not quite as detailed. You can see the stuff is there, but you would never be able to pull up your boat right on that exact spot for sure. We'll just look at a few more little spots on here. So like, just zoom in so you guys get an idea. So you can see it's there. You can definitely tell the detail is there. It's just not quite as precise and easy to see as it's probably going to look on the CMOR. So let's go ahead and check it out. So in the exact same area where we were before, I'm just going to show you guys as we move down to the south end. I'll just go ahead and show you that one more time as well. You can see, like as I mentioned before, like you can see like there's like other, you can definitely tell there's other stuff on top of that ledge. Rock piles out here, ledges. It just looked pretty flat on the Navionics. Anyways, let's go down, check out that area. That's gonna be right here, and we'll start at the top like we did for the Navionics. And we have to see there's quite a bit of detail. We're at 0.1 miles right here. And we have to see there's quite a bit of detail on this ledge. As we zoom in, 500 feet, the detail starts to fade out. 200 feet. I mean, you can definitely tell there. It looks better than the Navionics. Like, this is way more easy to find than the Navionics. But at 500 feet, you can just zoom in around it, and you can tell this is a big ledge line that you want to fish, and you can pretty much get right over it as well. But as we go down farther south, let's check it out. So we have to see it looks good. This definitely looks way more high detail than the Navionics. Like, look at that. That's a big drop right there. and you could see it on the Navionics. You just couldn't quite see it as good as you do on this one. Like this one makes it look 10 times better, and I would definitely be wanting to fish this spot a lot more than some of the other spots that you would have seen on the Navionics, just because you can tell the detail is there and you definitely see what's there as you go down. So that's the end of the chain right there, chain of rock polys and ledges. This is a great spot to fish out here. But as you go up to the north, like we did on the other one, definitely see there's quite a bit of detail. Keep in mind we're at 200 feet, so we zoom out some more. The Navionics, we were looking at it at like 500 feet, a little bit more in some spots. 1.1 miles is good, and you can definitely find all this stuff in here. We'll zoom back into 500 feet, and we definitely tell all this stuff is in here, and it looks good. So let's go ahead and check out the Gulf Stream right now. There's plenty of area. CMOR does beat Navionics in terms of coverage for the middle grounds. They have everything they have, and they have some more stuff farther offshore and a little bit up north into the south ends of it. So CMOR does beat them in the middle grounds. It's the only area that they truly do beat them really well. They also beat them in some other areas on their other cards, just because they go out and map some areas that Navionics doesn't. But I'm talking when I say beat them in coverage, like Navionics beat CMOR because they have pretty much most of the coast of Florida out by the oil rig. So when you're buying one card, you're getting way more area. It's not way more detailed, but what I'm saying is that you get more shady relief area. So let's go ahead out here. Something easy we can spot out. So look, we're gonna look at this thing because it sticks out, and then this right here because it looks like it comes in. So we're gonna go ahead and zoom in on this first. Looks great. We're gonna see that on the Navionics, and then we're gonna go check out the other area. So it looks great on here. This is deep water. This is nice to see, like for those of you guys that want to go deep dropping for swordfish, yellowfin tuna, marlin, depending on the time of year, wahoo, whatever. This is going to be for you guys. This is 125 miles offshore, and it's a run out there, guys. But if you guys get out there, man, this fishing must be good. You can definitely see all the detail farther down on this ledge. But let's zoom in some more and see. Just check it out. Look at that. You can see like all these rocks and ledges. It's deep, so you're not going to be bottom fishing for grouper out here. I'll tell you that. But it's definitely, you can definitely see where, because you have to look and see where like the nutrients will be coming up from the current and stuff like that. So it looks great on here, guys. So let's go ahead and check that out on the Navionics. So here's that same spot on Navionics. You can see it's a lot blurred. The reason it's like this is because when I zoom out, it goes like this, so it doesn't show the shady relief until you zoom in more. You definitely can't see, like CMOR at 5 miles is able to get a pretty good view of the whole ledge line. Keep in mind, this is between 2,500 and 8,500 foot of water, down 10,000 foot of water. So this is a canyon, but you want to look for these canyons. You want to look for where the nutrients are going to be pushed up. So that's where it's great to have these charts, as you can see stuff. So you can just see it drops. It's just not detailed at all on here. I mean, there's detail for sure, but it's not to the extent CMOR is. But you can definitely see it's there. This is that one little area that I was talking about on there, and there's nothing like it on the other one. So then, now if we go down to that one little spot that said protruded out a little bit, where it sticked out, we'll see that it's not as detailed. So that's right here. Let me tell, it looks better than the other spot, but you can definitely see it's not quite there. Like we're zooming in at 1 mile, so if we zoom in some more, the detail is gone, like completely gone. Like there's no detail. Like I guess you could consider that detail, but man, there's like no detail. 0.2 miles doesn't matter. We don't really have to be at 500 feet. You're looking for areas where the nutrients will get pushed up at. Obviously when you're out there, your eyes, ears, whatever, such and so, you're looking for bait, looking for birds and all that. That's going to be your main players out there. And the fish mapping is great to have if you're running all the way out here. But this is also great to have as well, great tool. So you can see, like, get an idea where the nutrients would push up. So like this would be a great area. You pretty much guarantee there'd be some stuff around there. But I mean, you can't see like how like the channel's out and all that. So let's go ahead and check it out on the CMOR real quick. Last spot that we're going to check out. Just for you guys to show, and I'm just gonna give you guys a quick recap. So that's the little spot right there. There's some other stuff inland. We'll check that out after this. But anyways, you can see how it goes up. So like this is like almost like the top of the mountain. It almost looks like this area, but you can see it's really like more jagged. So like the nutrients get pushed up. So this might actually be the better area right here, rather than like on that point right there. But you can see how much more detailed it is. And back to what I was saying about how Navionics like showed, like at 5 miles you can see everything. But you can zoom in more. We're at 1 mile now, and then you can see it. We're at half a mile, and we can actually see the detail pretty well, like the cuts and all that. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty nice. And I know most of you guys aren't gonna be fishing out here, but it also goes to show you guys how the detail and the sharpness of the CMOR charts is so much better than the Navionics cards, because it shows, like, this is just one example, because you know this is gonna be able to carry over to other areas where they both have coverage, so you're gonna be able to see it. This is just my area, but this is gonna be carrying over to other areas, so you can see it looks pretty good. And I'm gonna show you this other stuff out here. So this is in fathoms, so that's gonna be like 720, 740, 750 feet. So you can see like this other ledges and stuff out here that you might be able to deep drop out here. But you can definitely see that's there at 0.2 miles. Not super clear on here, but Navionics that doesn't even show it. So we can't really compare it. But I'm just showing you guys that out there, and let's maybe check in some stuff, maybe a little bit closer. Look at that. That might be I don't really know too much about deep dropping out here, but that looks pretty good. Look at that. And so as far as a recap, CMOR definitely did beat the Navionics card and detail, coverage in some areas too. But obviously the CMOR, you already know what areas you're getting covered. Navionics a little bit misleading because it'll look like they have coverage in here, and then they won't. Like these guys farther down south here, CMOR actually beats Navionics in coverage. Navionics in some little pockets, Navionics beats them, but overall I think CMOR has more coverage down here. But anyways, that's besides the point. The detail in these charts was definitely more vivid, easy to see, and well detailed in the CMOR cards. I have to say hands down. I mean, there's a couple areas in Navionics look good. You think back to that little pipeline area that I showed you, it looked pretty similar. It did a better job with the ledges around it on the CMOR, but the pipeline like itself, it looked pretty good out there. The middle ground, CMOR definitely crushed them. Out here they crushed them. In the shipping channel and the bay where Navionics prides himself, CMOR destroyed them. Off the beach, it was pretty close, but yeah, you could definitely tell CMOR did a better job on that. And then the other spot I showed you about 10-15 miles offshore, CMOR beat them there. You could definitely see like the stuff is there on Navionics. Like it's definitely better than the CMAP video that we made. Check that out. But it's definitely better. And then that other wreck too, that wreck itself looked pretty good. Some of the ledges on there too looked pretty good. CMOR did a better job because you were able to like zoom in more and like find like a more precise spot on there. So that's what I liked about the CMOR. But they definitely did different. Navionics has more coverage in general, but the CMOR just beat them in terms of detail and quality of the charting. I guess that's why you're paying $700 for a card compared to $250 for a card. So that's just a comparison. But thanks for watching this video, guys. Let me know if you have any comments down below in the comments. Subscribe, let me know if you want to see any future videos. Check out the links below for the authorized CMOR dealer and Navionics dealer, or distributor, or whatever you want to call it. But those guys are authorized to sell that stuff. That way you guys can make sure you're getting warranty. If there's any defective things with the card, like a defective SD card, you guys get that covered. And anything else like that, they got you guys covered. Any future updates, you'll be covered. So check those out. Electronics link down below. Thanks for watching, guys, and until next week, bye bye.